Hello, Victoria 3 fans. I hope you enjoy your mods, and I want to give a brief update on the performance overhaul mod that I looked at in the last video. I tried it again without the one that combines all the cultures because, well, combining all the cultures means every time I was forming Germany, I would get Super Germany. Austria would always jump in when I triggered the North German Federation event. If I formed Germany before I formed the North German Federation, I'd have this Germany sit around, and then like a month later, poof, Austria jumps in. So it was silly. I wanted to take a look at what it would perform without the cultural mod, and because I already have the settings for assimilation set so high, the difference was, well, about 17 seconds per year. 4 minutes and 23 seconds with the overhaul mod that puts cultures together, and 4 minutes and 40 seconds per year on average with just this mod alone. So definitely, if you want to play a game where you don't have Super Germany form, you're not sacrificing much, just 17 seconds per year. I know it adds up, but for me, I felt that having the improved stuff like that works out really nicely. Okay, now on to the other mods. The first one I'll mention is this governance from above mod. Now, what intrigues me is that it allows you to take some of your income and divert it to a protectorate, a dominion, a puppet for the purpose of funding their development. It does not allow you to actually direct construction in the company, but if they're already running with a developmental mode like your colonial substates, whatever, this will help to fund that some more. So I'm going to try that out here. To that end, I'm in Germany, and I have got this part here of the world, Senegal, where not a lot's going on. I looked it over. I've got 3 logging camps, and yes, I'm building a lot more here in Ghana because I'm on a logging drive. Without something to manage the economy, we're running out of wood globally. I'm leaning into that, though, because it does become kind of profitable for me overall, with all the other companies paying through the nose to get my wood. Anyway, but yeah, so I don't have a lot going on here with the logging camps and the millet farms and some dye and coffee. This is about as good as it gets. Everywhere else, like if I look at Inner Mauritania, nothing. Mauritania, I got the port and it's barely staffed. Senegal, I got some sugar. Guinea, I got 1 rubber. Yeah, Timbuktu, not so well. Volta, we got 1 barely staffed rubber plantation and 2 tobacco ones. This is a great place to try it out. So what I'm going to do, knowing that we have very little development here at all, and I'm really not directing a lot there at all, except, again, Ghana, I'm going to go ahead and create the colonial state of Senegal, and we'll see where it is. We're looking at the time here. It's 1877, April. Let's see how it develops over time. Alrighty, I have now created my little puppet government here, Senegal, and I'm kind of upset it's not German Senegal, but whatever. The key thing to click on is develop. So in this case, we're going to improve relations. We're starting at 0 here, and I'm going to give, 0.16K per week to Senegal. So that's affordable. I know I'm spending a lot already on development here. I'm at that part of the game where we just got level 3 construction unlocked, but we don't yet have all the building materials ready to go for it. This will be fun. So let's see how well it does. Again, April 1877. Let's go ahead and confirm. We're going to see a little ticker here for line go up on our relationship there, and we'll find out how it develops. Let's take a look again in about 20 years and see how that's going. Now, why would we like that? Well, like I was saying, I wasn't able to get a whole lot done in there with directed development. For the private development, it really wasn't focusing there either. So the area was a backwater. By creating this colonial government and giving it some funding here, we'll see if it's able to build in parallel to my other streams. So what I open up here is like basically 2 more building streams for the colony of Senegal. I could try other areas, but I'm a little hesitant, especially in South Africa, because I got all the gold coming from there. Oh, come on, man. But I might do it here also in East Africa and Niger, just to see what goes on with that as well. And Congo too. Actually, at Congo, I only have like a few groups raised there. I could probably do it here in Congo as well. So let's take another look. Okay, so here in the Congo, that includes Cameroon. I've got some tea plantations and millet farms. Gabon, yeah, nothing at all there. What about regular Congo? Nothing except a port and a river dock. And for Bakongo, okay, I do have some stuff going on here. A few logging camps, a few cotton plantations, a few sugar plantations. Yeah, let's go ahead and do it there as well. So again, we go over to Journal, Establish Colonial Administration, and I gotta wait 3 months. Okay, well, in 3 months' time, that'd be May, June, July, 1877, I'll create Congo as well, and we'll see how that develops. So that's governance from above. We'll see how that works later on in the day. Now, what I do want to talk about here are 3 mods. The transportation overhaul. The guy's name is Nahan Telhe. These are fantastic. I should give them all a thumbs up because I'm really enjoying it. First one, the transportation overhaul. This is keeping me from having to deal with all those pop-ups that say such a place doesn't have market access. It introduces horse-drawn carriages. Yeah, I know. Isn't that great? So I don't get hit with the market access pings so early on. I will get them later on, but they're less frequent. And this goes really well with his river transportation mod. This introduces the river port building. I mentioned it with one of the other provinces there. This adds infrastructure. It adds transport as well, based on, well, the fact that rivers are heavily used, and it will also do it for the Great Lakes. Really good. I should give this a thumbs up. Also, his port rework is another really good one. Again, without going into all the details, it's going to improve the attractiveness of ports as infrastructure areas and give us some more flexibility with those. Another thumbs up for these. Taken as a whole, this transportation overhaul means better access to transportation, less pinging for low market access, and less urgency on building railroads. Railroads are still profitable, but now they have to compete with the river traffic in terms of transporting things, and overall, that's a good thing. I like having better transportation and less getting yelled at because someplace needs another railroad that I built just like 5 months ago. Nahan's transportation overhaul. That's what you want. And then with it, the river transportation and the port rework mods. I highly recommend those. Also highly recommended, we go to Taylor here, and Taylor's given us the law and authority mod. What does this do? Well, take a look at this diagram. Now, implementing certain policies will increase the amount of power you have. Yeah, this is a lot better. And for institutions, that'll actually ratchet them up per level. Yes, you'll get authority from having workplace safety. I like that. But law enforcement and home affairs also will lend us benefits to controlling our population. What this means is early in the game, you are going to have loads of authority if you have a authoritarian government. That's what they're known for, authority. And then what I can spend this authority on, well, that gets enhanced. Yes, we could go ham and buy a lot of different tariffs and things, but they get incremental and very small towards the end of the list, especially the very beginning. So it's worth more to do things like suppress parties, take the groups you don't like and punch them down so they don't bother you. However, it's 1877 and I've needed to do other things with my power, especially since I've liberalized my government. But even though I have liberalized my government, I can still take access of his Better Decrees mod, which I also strongly recommend. Better Decrees gives us a wider range of options here in the decrees area, a reduced cost on many of them that make them beneficial, and things like penal colony transfers that allow me to, well, push more immigration to a certain location. It's going to create some turmoil, but yeah, if I want to move undesirables to a certain part of the world, I can do it now. We also have the encourage industry ones. We have encourage urban services, public health programs, culture conversions, land conservation so we can reduce pollution in an area. Lots of options, and when I have all that authority at the start, well, putting a whole lot into encouraging construction all over my few provinces that Prussia does have allows things to get built faster, and that helps me on my overall budget. You see, building all these things does put you in the negative, especially in the early game, and that's not always affordable. So building in spurts where they're all controlled, where I may say, all right, today I'm going to focus on Hesse. We are going to build lots of things in Hesse, so I'll put a encourage construction there. Next up, Saxony. I've got enough for that one too, so I'll split it between Hesse and Saxony. Right, when they're done, move those focuses to other provinces. Like I'm going to build up my fleet, so I go for West Prussia and Hanover. Well, at the start of the game, just West Prussia, but yeah, it's got that nice harbor there. Yeah, natural harbor that makes it a keen place to build up your fleet. So yeah, put a focus on that, and then when it's done building up the fleet, move that focus to somewhere else. I need coal. Boom, Silesia, or boom, the Ruhr area here with all the coal seams that they have. it makes it where I want to play with decrees, and then playing with decrees makes me want to pay attention to all these little symbols on the map that indicate where I can have benefits to certain types of production. This is a great set of mods. So that's Law and Authority. Let's give that a thumbs up. And then Better Decrees. Let's give that a thumbs up. These are great mods. I really encourage them. They help with your game, especially if you want to play an authoritarian run and you don't want to give anything to those liberals and want to see if you can decree your way to victory. By all means, try these out. All right. Now, before we let things run, I've got to determine what are we going to do for our German Senegal here. Oh yeah, they finally gave me the name, German Senegal. So what do I want it to be? If I take the second option here, it's going to be tailored around immigration and colonial settlement. I don't really want that. I need the rubber. I need the resources. So that's the first option, colonial extraction. Yes, please. That's why I'm paying for the extra funding. That's why I got the mod. Here we go. And I'll just let it run on speed 5 for a while. In about 3 months, I'll also create the Congo, and we'll see how things go. Okie doke, it's now September 1882. We've let it run for a few years. I've had a disastrous war with France and Russia. I never thought I'd actually have a disastrous war in Victoria 3, but here I was. Well, let's see how things have done. By comparison, I want to take a look at my own provinces. Let's take a look at Tanganyika here. I didn't build anything there. I think that's only a limited amount of private construction that happened in Lindi. Kazembe, yeah, I got a little bit of logging camp there. Mozambique, these are like all boutique developments here. Zanzibar I've had some good development in, but it also starts off as a pretty well-connected state. Nothing really much in Equatoria except a sugar plantation. Out here in my Niger area, which I still run as an imperial estate, Togo has got a little bit of development, but all this stuff I've owned for a longer time than the other ones, so there's going to be a lot more private investment here. The logging camps, that's mine. Government areas, barracks, those are mine. But yeah, the cotton plantations too, I built those out, and some of them aren't doing so well. I just don't know the market there. All right, now let's take a look at what's happened in Congo, and already I see in South Cameroon there's some steady development there. Gabon, okay, they've got a sugar plantation. Regular Congo, okay, we got the coffee plantation, but it's the Bakongo that I see some really interesting work in. If we take a look at the overview, they've got active construction there. Nothing there just yet, nothing there just yet, but there is queued construction here in South Cameroon. So definitely in the case of the Congo, it's developed better, I would say, than what I had in the colonies I just try to keep for myself. Over here in Senegal, all right, this is weird. Before I had the disastrous war with France, I had the excellent war with France, where I was able to be gifted French Senegal, and for now, because of that, I now have German Senegal and German Senegal, and they both have the same flag. This is confusing. But this has been a French colony for a while, and I've never actually owned it. I just turned it over to another colonial administration. It's got active and queued, nothing here, but I look at the development and I see, okay, that's pretty consistent across the board. Got some good numbers here. I look at the German Senegal that I created. Okay, they got the banana plantation, not so impressive. They've got a coffee plantation. Okay, not so great. Regular Senegal, don't recall building those sugar plantations. Admittedly, this is a kind of a backward area to begin with. So have I lost much? I don't know. I look at Ghana, though. That's doing okay. I think I did call in for that, and the Volta has developed some. So, yeah, I mean, overall, I really wasn't doing much with them in the first place, so I might as well be funding them just to build other stuff, and then they can develop it according to how they see things going, and I'll have allies with military forces, but I'm not going to be able to draw huge sums of manpower from them as a consequence. That's one thing I do keep from my control out here. I could keep these areas just to say I want the manpower, and that's that. But as far as cost goes, well, let's take a look there. Okay, German Senegal number 2, when I started funding it back in 1878, this was September when I was able to add this one, I started it and it was funding at 1.17. Now it's at 2.02 per week, or well, K, but still, the funding has increased. I find that interesting. What about Senegal number 1? Senegal number 1, I started this at 0.66K and it's up to 3.1K for development. All right, what about the German Congo? And for German Congo, this started at 0.55 back in 1878. It's up to 2.04 here in 1882. Not bad. These are not killers. They started off less than 1,000 per week. Now they're up to a few thousand per week. This is good. This is something I can maintain. If it ever gets to a point where it's outlandish, I can always cut back. No problem. One thing I regret doing is not setting these up sooner. Now that I know what they can do, I wish I'd had them. As it is, I have some interesting things going on where I've been able to create additional colonies to line this. And I guess when the colonies finally run out, then I'll be able to donate them to my colonial subjects. When I created the Congo, it also took little snippets here that were growing out of my East Africa area and plugged them into Congo. Because they're isolated from the Congo, I started up another colony coming out of East Africa, so it'll grow around there. When they're finally grown out and connected up, then I can do something there and say, okay, let's join them all together. Donate land, make it a state, donate to one entity or the other. I may also try later on to take German Senegal and just annex this one and then donate it to regular Senegal, and I'll only have the one German Senegal. That's something I can do. Will they accept it? Well, they might. 22%. Otherwise, I'll have a war. I don't want to start a war right now. But I think in the future, that's definitely a way to go. Get the colonial governments developed, and I hesitated to make them so because the development had been so poor previously. But now that I can fund it using that mod, I think it's an all right deal. So to sum up, governance from above, let's give that one a thumbs up. It's made my colonial governments much better. I like that one. Thumbs up were also given to Nahan's transportation overhaul, Nahan's river transportation, and Nahan's port rework. 3 excellent mods that go well together to make your transportation needs just much more wonderful. It's 1882, and I haven't had to add a railroad myself for years. Seriously, I have not added one since I started this back in 1878. In the regular game, I'd be cranking them out constantly. Nahan, you did a great job. Also worthy of mention are Taylor's Law and Authority and Taylor's Better Decrees. 100% gonna go with those, especially in the early game when you're authoritarian and you need to build things out. Having these on hand is a 1-2 punch that I can really understand and enjoy and find historically accurate. And finally, back to the beginning, that performance overhaul mod on its own gives you great performance. You don't have to have the cultural one that brings everything together and introduces some odd bugs in how nations form. It's a solid mod. I still keep my thumbs up for that one. I hope you've enjoyed this. I hope you're able to get some play out of these mods, and I'll see you next time.